So, I'm going to talk about a few different things real quick. Ish. So, in reference to more happier type of stuff at this current time, I wanted to go over a few different things in reference to like my children, my son and my daughter. So, my son James was born first. He was born the 2nd of September, 2001, and my daughter was born the 24th of September, 2002. They are 1 year, 2 weeks, and 2 days born apart. Both of them, I gained quite a bit of weight, and I did. So a few different things. One is that I gave them the nickname of Eggeritos. They're my little Eggeritos. Because those who have swaddled children in a specific way where you wrap their arms and then tuck the corners and stuff, and then you pull up the bottom part of the triangle and then tuck it in to keep them, warm and, snuggled and stuff, or cuddled or whatever. It looked like a little egg roll or a burrito, so I called them a little Eggeritos when they were like, saying, I'm gonna make you a little Eggerito right now. That's what I'm gonna do, make you a little Eggerito. I was told that I was racist for that, but I'm half Chinese, and I do have Venezuelan, and Portuguese, as well as the older Spaniard. So by technicalities, not being racist, okay, against myself, not forgetting their biological father is half, when he was alive, but that half Dominican, half Cherokee. So by technicalities, not being racist at all, whatsoever. So, my son, when he was born, or I should, let me precursor that. When I was pregnant with my son, I had bought a whole bunch of baby name books. I was like, okay, I wanted to make sure the meaning was important. It was important to me, and it is. And so, went through different names, and at one point in time, my now dead ex-husband walks into the apartment at Lincoln Green, and he goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm reading, going through different names. And he said, why? And I was like, because I want to make sure that the names that I choose for my son is going to be okay. And he was just like, well, they're just going to, no. And so then he got mad at me, and he goes, why don't you go in the kitchen and drop a bunch of pots and pans and then, do what your people do? Now that's racist. That's racist. And I was just like, I will not do that. And that's not how that works, by the way. Just throwing that out there. That's not how that works. But if you know that's that you. And so then there was a conversation about me being upset about that, and just whatever, dealt with that. Same thing occurred in reference to my daughter. I was like, no. But when I was pregnant with my son, and he had said that, I got infuriated, because I was like, that is racist, that is this, that is that. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, what are you going to do about it? I dealt with that. And then afterwards, I'm like, you know what? When he comes out, I hope he has some slanted eyes just to piss you off. And then ironically, after 7 days of labor and all that, then, he has more slanted eyes than I do. Now, his eyes are far more almond shaped than mine. I have makeup on. His are natural. See? Look. He couldn't beat me in the hospital. So, it was one of those like, see? I win. He couldn't have a conversation with me like that in the hospital, so just saying. Even my daughter, she has more slanted eyes. Like when she was born, her eyes, she had more of a tan. She very much had the skin tone of, my now dead ex-husband. But yeah, like very much had the skin tone in comparison. Whereas James has my skin tone, more slanted eyes. And he doesn't really tan. I mean, he does, but he burns very easily. Turns red as a lobster like I do. And so, there was a time where they were playing around, and meaning my son and my daughter, James and Lydia, and they were playing around in the backyard, and I had, a swing set up for them, found it, and I had to have help putting it together because of the different pieces. There's that cognitive issue. I tried putting together the crib. It said that it was an easy to build crib. Lied. Should say easy for anybody that does not have cognitive disorder issues. Because I spent like 6.5 hours trying to put that bitch together. And I could not figure it out. I was in fury. I was ready to I know I cannot be the only person who has gone through something like this where like I was ready to be like, and psh, and psh. But, it was important that I didn't do that because I wouldn't be able to have a crib for my, at the time. So, it was one of those, okay, I won't break. You put it together. I can't, I couldn't. I could not find one piece that fit together. Oh, and there weren't that many pieces. The most amount of pieces were the screws. And I couldn't figure out where could work on cars. Can't do that. Oh, okay. And then, I wonder why I got told that I have anger issues. I can only put stuff together, no problem, before my head injury. Now, and it's like, I need somebody who's smart to do that. I can't do that. And so, but in reference to the swing set, my son, he just, went on the different areas and had fun and stuff like that. My daughter, on the other hand, extremely meticulous. So, for a slide area, there's the stairs that you go up the ladder. And she very much my daughter in that regard. So she takes one step up and then goes back down. And she looked around at it. Okay, all right. Takes one step up into the second step, looks around, goes back down. And I'm watching this, sitting on the patio, and I'm like, yeah, that's mine. Both of them are mine, but that one, definitely mine. Because as far as like my son, when it came to the swings, as high as he could go. Yep, that's mine. That's mine. But with my daughter, very much the slide. That's mine. Because of the heights. That's the issue. It's like, all right. So then she, goes back down. Looks around, and she doesn't think like I see her because she's not paying attention to that far back. It's like, that's okay, go ahead. So then she goes up to the third step, looks around, Goes back down. I was like, mine. That's mine. And she gets real bold. She gets up to the fourth step and she just looks around. She's got this big grin, looks at the slide, and then goes back down. Then, she kind of gets her bearing. She gets back up, goes up to the top of the slide, stands on the slide, looks around. She saw James do it, so she just goes back down. And I'm like, that's my daughter. That is mine. Yep, I made that. Yep. And James is swinging back and forth on the swing the whole time. No problem. I'm like, yeah, I know you're trying to go higher. It doesn't go higher than that. But yes, I know what you're doing. You're mine. And so, so then, Lydia gets back up to the top of the slide and she's like, all right. Sits down, stands back up. I'm like, yeah, that's my daughter. Kind of gets that. And then very, very much like could compare this to the way I was about scuba diving. And so like for a reference point. So she gets back up to the top of the slide after going back down again. Gets up there, and then she used her arms and her legs to hold the sides of the slide as she went down, like a reverse spider type of thing. I'm like, yeah, that's my daughter. At least it's plastic in comparison, because when I did that, that was a metal slide. It was in the middle of the sun. I was hot, but my daughter nonetheless. So she gets to the bottom, she sits up, she looks at me, and I'm like, you have a good one? She just kind of, I'm like, all right, well, when you actually let go, you'll have fun. And, okay. She goes, runs up to the top of the slide, she sits down, and she looks at me, I'm like, no hands. She's like, and my daughter, she tried to do using her legs to like prevent going too fast. And I was like, yes, that's my daughter. Yep. Goes down the slide. And I was like, all right, next time, just in the center, and you'll be good to go. So she climbs back up. My son is still swinging on the swing, like, when are you gonna do? And then he figured out, like, one of the things that I would do, I know I'm not the only one who's ever done this, he starts twisting with the swing, and I was like, be careful of the poles. Those can hurt. Just as a forewarning, don't learn the hard way. And so he just kind of, yeah, because he remembered earlier, before that, I had done some cooking, and he put his hands on the stove after I told him, that's hot. Don't do that. Don't put your hands up, like, it's like, oh yeah, there you go, yeah, don't want to do that again. And so he still kept doing the twisting on the swing set, but not nearly as much. Oh yeah, believe me, it hurts. Especially when you're going full force and you smack into one of them. That hurts. It does not tickle at all. And so Lydia gets back to the top of the slide. I'm like, all right, down the center. And she goes, and she gets to the bottom. She kind of fell off the bottom of the slide. I know that there are others who have had children that have seen something like this. She kind of bops on the ground and looks at me, and I'm like, good time? And she goes, and I'm like, yeah. And then she just kept going over and over and over again. And then anytime, like, James tried to do the slide thing, you're like, all right. My daughter. You done yet? Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Mine, both of them. Mine. And so, so one day, working in the garden, in the backyard, and I had them work with me and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, this tulip bulb, I got tulips to grow in the city of San Antonio, in the ground. Not just gladiola. Got tulips to grow in the ground in San Antonio, Texas. A few of them came back the next year too, by the way. But along with freesia, I also got freesia to grow. And I know there are gardeners that are like, you got freesia to grow in the ground in San Antonio. Those who know soil content understand that. But anyway, so I got these really, really, really big blooming rose bushes. I don't really like the tea roses. It's a personal preference. I don't like those little itty bitty tiny. It's a personal preference. You know, I understand in like a trellis, they kind of look okay. It's a personal preference. I like the big blooming, huge roses. Well, around a crepe myrtle or a redbud tree in the backyard, you know, I put a bunch of the rose bushes around there after doing a few other things. And my son and daughter, they're helping me with different things. And they're just like, okay, well, one of the rose bushes starts blooming instantly. I'm like, yes, come on. Come on. And so my daughter looks at me and she's like, I like that rose. And I'm like, yes, do not touch it. Similar to James, don't touch the hot stove. It'll bite you. It's hot. My daughter tries being a ninja in an open backyard where there was no way for her to be like, you can't see me. She tried to hide behind one of the poles for the swing set, which, you know, those who know what swing sets look like understand. Nowhere to hide behind the pole. That's at an angle, you know, when like the pole is like this at an angle and you're like, you can't see me. Yes, I can. You are not a ninja. I can see you. Don't go and pick the rose. And she's, what do you, you literally just talked to me about how you like the rose. It's got thorns. It'll hurt you. Don't do it. I'm not going to. So then she goes over, you know, behind different poles of that same swing set, thinking that she's, no, you are not a ninja. Like, I can see you very clearly. There is no way you can hide behind any one of those poles. Then she tried to hide behind a swing set swing, and it's like, I love you so much. Oh, I love you. But I can still see you. You're not a ninja. And so she continues on. Then she goes to hide behind, okay, she kind of did hide behind the sycamore tree, but not really when, you know, she's got like her legs out of the other side of the sycamore tree and then holding on to the sycamore tree with her arms, and it's like, yeah, like if you're trying to hide, I shouldn't see your arms, like, but okay. And then the whole like, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, no, I see you. So then she like, and she hides behind one of the oak trees, the pin oak trees, before I cut it down, both of them down, and, you know, no, girl, no, no. You cannot hide there. So then she tried to get to the ground, and it's like, really? Because I had these little scallop brick rings. She's like, leave the rose bush alone. Just leave it alone. It's gonna be painful if you don't. I'm not going to. Yeah, right. You're just. Yeah, no, not ninja. So then, she sees me light up a cigarette and she thinks she can get away at this point in time. So then she runs over and it's like, all right, fine, you're going to learn. 3, 2, 1, and she's at the rose bush. And I'm like, don't do it. And so, like, pretend this is the rose bush. And she's like, don't do it. Don't. And then I go to do something and she goes like this. Ah! And it's like, yeah, come here. Let me see your hand. Come here. Come here. Yeah, because it's a rose bush. Roses have thorns. I told you this. Come here. Let me see. And look at her hand. Getting the little thorns, the teeny, because it had both the big thorns and the teeny tiny thorns. I'm like, yeah. Owie. It's like, did I tell you to leave the roses alone? Yes, okay. So then, instead of doing that, she went and found the dog poop. It's like, all right, it's fertilizer, so okay. Put that down. Put that down. Just look what I found. Oh, put that down. No, please. Go wash your hands. So. The whole time my son is watching going, at least I just didn't have to do that whole thing. Because he had to learn that one twice as far as the hotness. So the first time was the oven. The next time I was barbecuing. And mind you, I had never barbecued before. That was the first time I barbecued. And it was for a house party, like inviting like neighbors and stuff like that. My now dead ex-husband goes, oh, I put the barbecue pit together, grill. What? What do you mean grill? Yes, it's a grill. That is a grill. You put a grill together. What do you mean, like grill? Well, grill. Yes, that's a grill. What do you mean just grill? Like, it's a grill. And he's like, no, you're going to do the cooking. It's like, oh, okay. I've never grilled before. This is the state of Texas? This is the state of Texas? There are Texans that are going to, like, go to a barbecue that they are, like, about grills in Texas? Oh, okay. Sure. So I went to the store, I picked up charcoal, I picked up a brisket, I picked up different types of sauces, I picked up bratwursts and hamburgers and hot dogs and different types of all sorts of stuff. And made different sides and all this sort of stuff. Had the brisket, marinate for a while overnight. And then the day of the first time that I was ever gonna barbecue, throw the charcoal down, get the lighter fluid. I admit I do like fire, so it was just one of those, yes. Yes, that. I like that. And so my son comes over as I'm getting the grill squared away. And he's like, no, don't do that. Remember the oven? That's hot. Don't do And it's like, yeah, that's hot. You weren't a ninja at all. Give me your hands. And let's go over to the kitchen. Let's put it under the cold water. You know, like, there you go, yeah. So then, at some point in time, which is after the housewarming party and stuff like that, my biological sister was staying at my house. And my son and my daughter were toddling around doing their stuff. And I have to preface this story. When my biological sister Patricia and I were younger, our parents took us to a pet store, and I was like, "Oh, puppy dogs! I want to play with that one." And there was an Alaskan Malamute, pure white. I was like, "Oh, Chanel puppy, Chanel puppy," and Mike was like, "No. You cannot play with it, but it's so good. It's so funny. It's so funny." No. What about that one? And there was Nikita. And he's like, And then I look at, there's another. And if you look at chows, they kind of look like poofy clouds, but puppy dogs. And so he was like, all right, yeah. And Patricia was like, yeah, I want to play with that one. I was like, yeah, that dog ain't going to like you. That dog is not going to like you at all whatsoever. So I get to go in the essentially the pen and the chow and it's you so cute, you so fluffy, you can give me kisses and snuggle. Yes, I am that type of person, especially when it comes to big dogs. You so fluffy. And chows are. Well, Mike was like, okay, out. You let your sister go in. Okay. Patricia bent over to tie her shoelace. Chow, sees me leaving. And put this little Chow puppy, which those who have been around puppies yes, big dogs do have teeth when the puppy teeth, ooh, they're sharp. Oh, they're sharp. Patricia's bending over to tie her shoelace. I go, get him. And puppy Chow. Kind of did a little. And then bit her ass. Like just would not let go at all. She, ow, get it off. There's a reason why I tell you that first. So, fast forward to San Antonio, Texas. My biological sister, she goes to go to the oven. My son was teething at that time. Those who have been around. He was a toddler, but like something, there are those who, and she goes and opens up the oven. She goes to put something in, and James just right on it. And because he's a toddler, she was, get him off of me, oh, yeah, it hurts. I'm a sadist. I'm a dominant sadist, but nonetheless, sadist is still in there. And I was just, James. James. And the whole time Patricia's, I finally, okay, I can't, oh, my tummy hurts. And I go over there and I just kind of put my finger in his mouth. I'm like, all right. Patricia stands up, oh, it hurts so bad. And I'm just like, yeah, I didn't feel a thing. Come here, I love you. I love you so much right now. I mean, I will always love you. I will, I love you. Such a good boy. My daughter's in her high chair eating, and she's just got I think I had made some beef steak chunks or something like that, cut them up for them to, and she's just got this laughing the whole time, like you just got it pouring down. It's like, I'm glad I put a bib on you. Patricia's crying. She runs upstairs. Oh, it hurts so bad. I don't feel a thing. So then, another time when this one was not so funny to the insurance company. But it was still funny nonetheless, because it just was. Like, those who have been around children, they understand. And like, despite how much it cost, it was still funny. So one day I wake up and I hear splashing. Mind you, I had put in the wood laminate floors. Like, I picked out the stuff. Now, yes, Mike helped with a lot of it and stuff, especially with like the measurements and stuff, but did both houses, did his house and as well as mine, because it was like, ugh, carpet, no, thanks. Prefer wood laminate. It's a personal preference, and it's the type that click together, and so yeah. So anyway, I hear a bunch of splashing, and I'm just like, that's not normal. And then I hear pitter patter with splashing, and a bunch of giggling. That's not normal. So I get up. I get to the edge of the master bedroom where the tea molding is, and there's a pool of water. It's a house. This is above water. Second story too. And I look, take a few steps, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a pain in the ass to clean up. And then I hear pitter patter with the splashing, and then giggling, and then all of a sudden there are my two children right in front of me, because of the way the upstairs was. Like, there was the stairs I went down when coming out of the master bedroom, and then there were the hallway, and then the towel area that I know it's not a pantry door, but it's something. And then, you turn right, and bedroom for my daughter, bathroom, and then bedroom for my son. And both of them are there. They're splashing around in the water, and the further I got, the more the water was higher, up to my ankles. And it's like, all right. Oh, great. So I walk through the water, and as I get closer to the bathroom that was between their rooms, I hear the toilet just running, and I'm like, oh, splash, splash, splash. Okay. Look in the toilet, and there's a whole bunch of toys and diapers, and I'm like, get that stopped so that way it doesn't continue to overflow. And this is gonna be, oh, I'm so glad I have so many extra towels. Go to the linen closet, that's what it is, and go and get them out. It's like, this is gonna start laying the towels down. It's like, stop slip and sliding. No, stop it. And they're just like, it's fun, yeah. I love you so much. So then, now remember, I deal with headaches and migraines because I had that head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, so I have to go down the stairs to get the shop vac because those, yeah, that is just, yeah, loud. And so it took hours. It took like 6 hours to get all the water up. It's like, oh. Okay. My now dead ex-husband helped me? Absolutely not. Oh, no. I had to do it all. So like, out of their rooms as well, because each of their rooms were full of water. I love you. Water in their rooms, because the bathroom was the central point, and their rooms were on each side. The water in their rooms was up to like where my calves start. And so by the time I get into the bathroom area, it was halfway up my calves. And it's like, I love you so much. I love you. I am so mad at you, but I love you. So then hours go by, and they're having a few, they are just so proud of themselves. And I'm like, it's not funny. I love you. Love you. I love you. Well, finished getting it cleaned up. I'm like, all right, I can finally have a cigarette. My head is just painful. Get downstairs, and I hear, it's like, I literally just was gonna have a cigarette. What? I walk into where the great room area is, and the couch that was in there, the cat, Teeners, her real name was Athena, but my children could never say Athena. Then Teeners, no, Athena, Teeners, Athena, Teeners, Athena, Teeners, Athena, like, it's running back and forth on the couch. The water came through the ceiling all the way around the couch. The couch was an island. Water is coming down. I'm going to have a cigarette, but I'm going to take this cat because I know all you have to do is go to the bathroom and you don't want to go in the water. So put it on the ground. Now, Teener's, ironically, teeny tiny. Like, she could fit in the palm, like that tiny. She runs into the litter box that has, like, the cover has, like, a whole box of the kitty litter in there and pushes it so hard when she jumps in because she face planted and it slid against the wall and then bounced outward. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go have a cigarette now. Like, I just can't. I can't right now. I can't. No, I can't. I need a cigarette. I'm gonna go have a cigarette. I'm gonna go do that. Because no. Have the cigarette, go back upstairs. My children are sleeping. Oh. Great. Glad you're able to, I guess you wore yourselves out. You know, you have fun slipping and sliding in the hand. Let me go have another cigarette. I can't. Go have another cigarette. Or like the whole pack. So then, this is after the final separation. My now dead ex-husband has his own apartment, and I'm alone in the house. And it's near Easter time, and I hear some stuff going on downstairs. I was doing laundry, and I'm like, who is in my house? Because my children were ready. They already had dinner. They already had story time. Their showers, like wrong order, but showers, dinner, shower, story time, and in bed. So they were supposed to be asleep. I'm like trying to ninja down the stairs, get on the platform area, look over the little diagonal banister rail to see in the kitchen. My daughter is holding the sides of the refrigerator, but she's at the freezer section. Because, anybody that's it. What are you doing out of bed? But you can't do that. Because it's a tile floor and it's an extra large refrigerator with freezer. So I have to like ninja down the last few stairs. It's like, I put in wood floors. At least there's a carpet on that. Not much, but better than nothing. Little carpet runner, okay. Get into the kitchen. And it's like, okay, I gotta wait. I do not want to scare her because I don't know what she has in her hands at that point in time. And so and I have an idea, it's most likely candy, which it was, but she comes back down the refrigerator. I'm just standing there. She turns around, she has these chipmunk cheeks. With black jelly bean juice just pouring down her face and neck. Wearing a white t-shirt, mind you. And she turns around, looks at, because she sees my legs first, looks upward, instantly puts her hands behind her back. I'm like, what? What is in your hands? Why can't you speak? Jelly bean juice. There's black jelly bean juice all over. And I'm watching, and she's like trying to chew her chipmunk cheeks full of black jelly beans. It's like, you are my daughter. I know you're my daughter. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, what is in your hands? Black jelly bean juice. Let me see your hands. So then, not ninja. Black jelly bean juice. Black jelly bean. Let me see your other hand. Okay, my fault. My daughter completely. Still trying to chew the chipmunk cheek. Full of jelly beans. See, nothing. Black jelly beans. Black jelly beans. Both hands. Both hands now. And a bunch of black jelly beans fall to the floor. See, nothing. Yet there's like a floor full of black. So where'd those come from, huh? Where'd those come from? Brush your teeth. I am too upset right now and want to laugh, but I cannot. Wash your hands, brush your teeth, go to bed. I love you. Give me kisses. Bed. Here, up the stairs. Here, brush your teeth. You're looking at the black jelly beans on the floor. Go outside. I'm not dealing with it. I'm going to go smoke. Ganesh, my dog, is like looking at me like, hey, what's going on, Mom? Go in the yard. I love my children. There is no parent that has not had a situation where they're like, I love my children. I love them. I love them so much. I love them. Yeah. So those are just a few stories. But I will preface why I know, or post-preface, or however that is, in reference to how the jelly bean situation, my daughter, one day was at St. John Vianney High School. And I had my backpack with my books and stuff like that, but I had a bunch of candy. I was in this one teacher's class and just wanted a piece of candy. So, anybody who's ever been in a class before knows this. And so I had peppermints. So I pull out a peppermint and I'm trying to do the wrapper quietly and no. And the teacher goes, Susan! Yes, mister, I can't remember what his name is. What are you doing? I'm opening a peppermint candy. I was trying to be quiet. You cannot have peppermint candy in class. Fine. The next day. Susan! What? Mister, I cannot remember his name. What are you doing? I'm opening a spearmint candy. What did I tell you yesterday, Susan? You said I couldn't have peppermint candy. This is a spearmint candy. It's not a peppermint candy. It's a spearmint candy. What, were you born a lawyer? I was born me, but see, to spearmint, not peppermint. The next day, Susan! Yes, Mr. I can't remember his name. What are you doing? Opening up a Milky Way candy. What did I tell you? You said that I could not have peppermint candy and I could not have spearmint candy. This is Milky Way candy. It's not the same. No, you cannot have Milky Way candy. All right. Next day. Apparently the power went out. As you just saw. Next day. Susan! Yes? What are you doing? I'm opening a Snickers. What did I tell you? You said I could not have a peppermint candy. You said I could not have a spearmint candy. You said I could not have a Milky Way candy. So this is a Snickers candy. It's different. What, were you born a lawyer? I was born me. You cannot have that. Okay. Friday. Susan! Yes. What are you doing? Opening a Butterfinger. What did I tell you? You said I could not have a peppermint candy. Then you said I could not have a spearmint candy. Then you said I could not have a Milky Way candy. Then you said I could not have a Snickers candy. So I'm having a Butterfingers candy. I want a parent-teacher. It was the second week that it happened of like more candy, like different ones. It's right after Halloween, so like I had a plethora of candy to go through, and so second week of that, I demand a parent-teacher conference. What are you going to tell them? I'm going to tell them that I told you. You know what they're going to tell you? What? They're going to tell you should have said all candy, but you didn't say all candy. You said peppermint candy and spearmint candy, and go down the list of the 10 different candies, and he was just like, take this to your parents. Okay, you're not going to want to have that meeting. They're going to tell you exactly what I said. So they set up the parent-teacher conference. They show up. And they're like, what seems to be the problem? Your daughter was eating peppermint candy on this day, spearmint candy on this day. And both of them are like, yeah. Did you tell her all candy? That's what Mike said. And the teacher goes, no. I asked her if she was born a lawyer each time. And she said, no, she was born as me. Or I'm born as me. And she said, yeah, that. And I'm sitting there in the classroom and I'm just like, and so the teacher stands up and he goes, no candy at all for you in class. In all classes or just your class? Were you born a lawyer? No, I was born me. So that my daughter, my son has done stuff like that too. So I'm going to end this particular video. I'm sure there are plenty of people who can relate to that. Share and subscribe. Have a good one.